Welcome to Ealing. We are here today to see South Africa take on the USA in this international friendly. I'm delighted to say I've been joined by US star Mia Bitzer, who has come along for the ride. Mia, this is home turf for you, isn't it, really? You're only from round the corner, but how much are the US girls looking forward to today's match?
I think they're extremely excited. We have a new coaching staff. This is the first time that they're playing this year, so a lot of things have the chance to add up today.
And South Africa are a really strong outfit, of course, and what do you make to them today? They're warming up behind us at the minute and looking quite good.
I think the US is going to have a tough time. South Africa have a really sporadic kicking game, which can be very dangerous, especially on a hard, fast surface like this.
And this weather, you'll know as soon as you've been around the corner, it's been pretty miserable for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And we've been blessed with sunshine today. How much do you think that's going to impact the game?
Hugely. Like, you couldn't ask for a better game day. The sun shining and the wind's not howling like it usually is. So I think we're going to see some great handling, a lot of ball movement. It's going to be wonderful.
Within the US side then, who can we look out for in particular?
Obviously, you can always look out for Captain Kate Zachary. She's going to be everywhere you need her to be. Rachel Johnson's going to be a massive ball carrier. And on the wing, Lottie Claps is just going to be trying to finish everything we give her.
Well, great to talk, and I managed to talk to the coaches ahead of kick-off, and here's what they had to say. Louis, great win against Spain last week, only by 3 points in the end. How much confidence does that give you coming into today?
Yes, thanks, Scott. It was a tough game. I won't say that it was beautiful rugby to watch, but sometimes you take those ugly wins, you know, for confidence and for some momentum. So we're very grateful for that. But a lot of things to work on for us after that game, and touch on a couple of things this week, so hopefully can implement today.
You've got a few changes to the squad as well, a few rotations. Who are you looking forward to watching coming into the starting lineup?
Yes, we've got a young group here, so the purpose of this tour was always to give some experience to younger girls, also to build on our test caps. Obviously, rugby in South Africa on the women's side is still young, and this tour is all about, you know, gaining some experience for these young girls. So we've got Mary Zulu at 10. She's a very promising young fly-off. It will be great for her to experience test match rugby. And then we've got a couple of younger props and hookers. You know, as a tight five, you need experience at this level, and very grateful for this experience and opportunity.
And what about the USA as well? It's been a long time since you guys played each other. You missed each other in the WXV last year. So what do you make to them as an outfit? They're ninth in the world rankings this year at the minute.
Yeah, look, we know we're up against a formidable opponent. We know that they are very athletic and they're very physical. Obviously, we've been watching them in WXV2 in South Africa, and we know that we are up against a tough team today. So, you know, we haven't played against them for a long time now. So again, for our girls, great experience to play against a top-ranked team. We don't get opportunities to play against top 10 teams in the world, and when these come past us, you know, we really want to learn and we want to take the experience going forward.
And we've had a lot of rain in England for the last few weeks. It seemed to have gone on and on and on, and we've turned up at Ealing today on this fast pitch and great sunshine as well. How much do you think that is going to please the players out on the pitch today?
No, absolutely a blessing from our side. It's summer in South Africa at the moment, so we've been training for a long time in dry weather, and coming to the UK was tough for us, especially the first 2 weeks. You know, we're not used to this, so getting this today is very much a blessing for our girls, and it will make them more confident and more comfortable. But so also for the USA, I think they also like to play a fast game, keep ball in hand. So hopefully it will be a great game to watch.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for talking to us, Louis. All the best today.
Thank you very much, Scott.
Siono, big day today. First game for you as head coach. How do you feel ahead of this one?
Just excited. I was appointed a little bit late last year, and it's been a bit of a I suppose long wait to get this first game in. So overall feelings, and after the week that we've had, is just excitement to actually get out there, see the girls play, and then put out some of the things that we've been working pretty hard on over the last 10 days.
And what are you hoping to get out of this match ahead of the rest of the sort of international fixture list?
I guess it's a bit of a footprint, that first step on the international calendar, to be honest. There's a lot to play for coming forward for us in Pack 4. We get the chance to qualify for World Cup and obviously WXV1. So we really want to start the season in a really positive manner, playing a style of rugby that we want to build on, but also obviously from a results point of view, that first step along the way to qualifying.
It's been a long time since the USA played South Africa, so is there a lot of expectation about what they might bring to this game as well?
Yeah, absolutely. They had a good game against Spain last week. They're physical, they're fast, there's a bit of unpredictability in there as well. So it's a little bit of the unknown because we haven't played them for so long. But then we're excited that we're probably going to bring a bit of the same. To be honest, it's the USA are a physical team historically, and we've kind of tried to really reinforce that identity. And then there's some systems that haven't been implemented before that we've worked pretty hard on to try and bring out that attacking skill set that the players are they have there that just haven't shown consistently over the last 12 months.
And you've got a bit of experience in the side, some debutants as well. Who are you looking in your side to try and lead from the front today?
Oh, absolutely. Obviously, Hope Rogers from the front. She's physical, skillful, bit of an icon when it comes to USA Women's Rugby. Kate Zachary has leadership, Rachel Johnson with her power. And then in that back line, obviously a little bit of game management from Gabby Cantona. And Tess Fury with a bit of experience in behind. Those are the big ones from our leadership point of view. And of course, that excitement of what Casca Bargal is going to be able to do when she inserts, and then Amanda Bird of speed. When we get a chance to unleash that, I think you'll all be pretty excited.
Well, thanks for stopping by. Great to talk to you today. All the best of the game.
No worries. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Welcome. Well, the two sides ready and raring to go. Great conditions here in Ealing, and kick-off in just a couple of minutes' time. South Africa going through the tackle bags once again. The teams then for South Africa, there's 3 changes to the side that narrowly beat Spain last weekend. Aseza Hele comes in at number 8. Well, Asipe Meaba returns to the right wing for the first time since May last year. Mary Zulu moves from the bench to start at fly half, with Behandre Golf moving to fullback, and captain Lusindiso Boy will get another record 42nd cap. The USA, well, Kate Zachary returns as captain in the back row, while Charlie Jacobi and Gabby Cantona are set to make their 25th caps. Hope Rogers makes her return back from injury for her first start in a year, and on the bench, Cassidy Bargal and Amanda Berta look set to make their debuts. Replacements, a couple of late changes, one for South Africa. Danielle Lochner now starts in the back row, and she will wear number 19. And then with no number on the back, we have Anati Kolo, who started at number 8 last week for South Africa. She moves onto the bench. Well, the USA from kick-off and down the right wing. Well, this is an electric start. What an absolutely blinding score. And it is Paris Redding who has scorched over, and I think she's got a few supporters in the crowd as well. I saw some Paris Redding shirts in the stand earlier on, and Mia, what a cracking start.
I don't think you could have asked for a better start. A small mistake by South Africa, but the U.S. had the wherewithal, specifically Paris Reddings, to continue to play on the advantage and had a clean run into the try zone down the sideline. I don't know if we've had a shorter time before a try scored since a whistle blew to start the game. Absolutely amazing. You can see the replay now. Mackenzie Hawkins puts a kick up, it goes, and we've got Emily Henrich on the chase. Just a small mishandle gives Paris Reddings the ball, and she's away.
That is a superb pickup as well, and to go over in the corner like that, well, we're going to have to try and call it. Could that be a world record in the women's game? I'm not sure.
Less than a minute in. And one of my favorite things about Paris Reddings is she'll never quit. She's the backbone of the energy on the field, and until that whistle blows, it's not over for her. This is a well-deserved try, and great job playing through it.
Well, conversion to come. And that is snuck over beautifully, and it is the USA that leads 7-0.
Gabby Cantorna is one of the most diligent players in the game. She tries to perfect her craft any opportunity she gets, and she's an excellent kicker.
Well, South Africa shell-shocked in the opening 60 seconds, and Cilliers continues. Oh, that's charged down by South Africa. Maybe they're just going to search that out. What a hit from Boyd. And the USA back on their own try line defending here. Carry from their own try line. Sagapolu was the enforcer. And carries once again, Sagapolu. Oh, the charge almost coming again, and it's kicked on. Cantorna jumping Cilliers for South Africa in the 22. Now Boyd. Change of direction and into the line, Dolphin. South Africa just nudged in to touch inside the 22.
And we've just seen savagery out there as far as the kick chasing. Everyone is putting a lot of pressure on the kick. The first kick from Hawkins got blocked, and the second one was just about blocked. She had to take a couple extra steps to evade. So we can expect a lot of pressure on all kickers this game.
Lovely take off the top from Kronish. And there's a big charge up from Rogers. Talisman in this US side, Mia.
Yes, it's shocking when she doesn't get meters. That was an absolutely great hit by South Africa.
And that's a much better nudge into touch. And just for a moment, the US can breathe.
Yeah, early minutes of the game, both teams are still feeling each other out, getting the connections, getting the timing for the exit kicks. That was a lot better by Hawkins and Ortiz.
Gawala with the scrum hat on home turf. It's a great take off the top. Here comes the drive from South Africa. And it is at the back with Gawala.
Hey, stop once!
Trying to get this motoring.
Use it, 9.
Just about slowed down now. Will a second drive come, and peels off the back, and there's charged. Great tackle on Nyanda. Carried up with Lochner. Through Zulu, only a young fly half and gets it to Dolph, who started at fly half for South Africa against Spain last weekend. Boy, the captain again with ball in hand. And Zulu, oh, that was a close effort for Kronish, trying to read that intercept, and it almost came off.
I think we're seeing a lot of line speed from the U.S., but I'd like it to be a little bit more connected. They're putting a lot of pressure on South Africa, and South Africa's handling it well, and they're finding small gaps between the connection of the USD.
Now, despite the opening 15 seconds, which was all the USA, it is currently all in the USA's half, with South Africa in possession at the scrum here. Great position on the field of play as well.
And this is the first scrum of the game. It'll be a really good testing point for both teams to see how they can manage these. Ooh, we're just going to have a quick little reset. Like we said, they're still feeling each other out, getting a feel for the scrums, but a lot of power in both of these front rows, both of these packs.
Well, just discussion with our referee and the so experienced Taylor Kinsey at scrum half for South Africa. 30-second cap today. That is a big drive from South Africa. Penalty coming their way, and they now get there.
You can see that the referee's hand went out to give South Africa the penalty, and the U.S. is just trying to hold on at that point. The scrum got stood pretty far up, and South Africa walked away with now a kick to touch and some hopeful territory in the U.S. side.
Well, that is bounced beautifully into the corner.
I think small mistake by the U.S. If we were a little more heads up in the backfield, that actually bounced inside the field. We could have taken it and exited possibly, but now South Africa has a line out right on the 5-meter line. This is great attacking opportunity.
Well, those that watched South Africa's game last weekend will know that it was Jackie Cilliers that got the winning penalty. He won by 3 points. It was the decisive one that spilled at the line out. Great ball from Paris Redding to Kronish, who was close in support.
This is what we're saying about Paris Redding. She's all over everything until the whistle blows. That was her once again to pick up the knock and try to play. U.S. got a little get-out-of-jail-free card right there from a small South African mistake in the line-out, and now they'll have a scrum opportunity. Hopefully they can handle it a little bit better than the first one.
It's tough when you're in your own 22 and under a lot of pressure. And these are the moments, we've already seen one of these where it was a bit of a rash clearance from the US, and they have to do a bit better this time.
Yeah, they're going to have to slow down just a little bit and focus on the timing and the connection.
Nice scrum. Picked up off the base. Johnson does well to make 6 or 7 meters, and that just gives a point of attack for the US, and most importantly forces South Africa to turn back in defence. And there's the clearance. It won't go to touch, but well taken by Mayaba on her 3rd cap for South Africa. A real flyer. Kinsey digs it out and gets it over to Machula.
USA has a chance to breathe again. On that last scrum, they didn't quite get the wheel they wanted, but Johnson was able to just carry some people up the field. And now USA will have a line out, still in their half.
Just a couple of feet in touch. Conditions so good here in Ealing. The pitch is fast, and Kronish reaches up high, and now the US look to try and move this one through their hands, and that's a bullocking run from Johnson. So you do that so many times in a Chiefs shirt. Through the hands, but it was with Hawkins that goes on the road, and now they're going backwards, the US. Toga. So just to go forward with a loose ball, but it's a penalty
19.
to the US.
19. Not rolling.
And now for the first time in around 10 minutes since the kickoff, the USA looking to get out of their own half. That does not find touch, and it's straight down the throat of Silius, who, despite that big boot, loves to run with the ball in hand.
Use it. Now 9.
Forward carry. Nicely done by South Africa, just trying to build some momentum. That is Ubisi.
Use it. Get up. Come on, hands in the rock.
The box kick from Kinsey. That is tricky, but is well collected and booted back into the South Africa 22, and they will try and run this one.
Hands away!
By South Africa. And again in the same position, and they get the penalty.
He is just not rolling away there.
He was still
and
there.
Again, despite the first maybe minute of play, South Africa has had possession the majority of the time, and we're only just now getting into South Africa's half. But again, they will retain possession and hopefully clear it with this kick.
Well, this was the break from Mary Zulu,
Right.
and into the starting lineup for an 8th cap, and looks really electric, the fly half. Great line out ball, Uvusi on the top. Driving forward, South Africa. And this is with...
Okay, use it once! Don't change up the side. No.
Looking to edge closer to
Okay,
this
use it!
USA 22-metre line.
Okay, Maul's over.
Still going forward here, now
Okay, got the
finally
ball!
tackled, and
Let the ball come! Let the ball
South Africa will
come!
have to dig this one out. Boyd. In with Neander, still going and has support from Gray. Ubisi. Absolutely hammered to the ground by Matai Tonga. And it's lost, and it's hacked into touch, and we're going to have a line out.
You have to think South Africa thought to kick there because the U.S. was showing a connected launch and they had numbers. Unfortunately for Sagapolu, it just came off her, and Clapp could not recover it in the deflection. The ball went into touch for South Africa. Still South Africa's ball, once again in USA territory.
Well, it's an intriguing start to this game, and almost lost at the line out, but well gathered by Kuzwaya. Driving forward, South Africa. It's recycled and through the hands. Ubisi loses it in Zulu with the step, and always Mary Zulu looking for a corner or a gap or a weak shoulder to run through.
Just a small knock-on by USA in the last breakdown. South Africa doing well to play through advantage, but they'll get a reset and get a nice attacking platform within USA half.
Well, there's been a few good scrums already. South Africa looking incredibly strong in the front row. Kinsey. Sit and wait, because this is still going forward, and the arm is up from the referee and they get the penalty.
That's 2 penalties for the last 2 South African attacking scrums. You've got to think the USA needs to be chatting about what they can fix to stop this, because this is a free kick to the corner and attacking opportunity for South Africa.
Well, Cilliers will step up once again. And that's almost kept in field.
A lot more heads up than last time. The USA back 3 said we're not letting it bounce back there again, and they were going to play it if they could.
Well, the accuracy from the kick from Cilliers to get it that tight to the corner is very, very impressive, and it keeps the pressure on the US, doesn't it?
Sure does. They're 5 meters out with an attacking line out. You'd hope they could capitalize here.
And that's the penalty at the scrum. That's the drive, and this is the line out, and South Africa wrestling with it here. Kinsey away with Hele. Finally goes to ground, and with Lochner. South Africa still pushing here. USA just recycling in defence, and Kinsey now through the hands with Boyd. The captain looking to go out wide, won't just find a bit of an edge, and South Africa come back inside with Lochner and have a bit of space to this near touchline. That is a huge tackle. Now with Ibisi. Bit passive here from South Africa. And now Zulu through the hands, Dolph cuts back inside, and South Africa being sent backwards. Lochner with the offload, and there's Latcha, and there's the offload again, and it's been lost forward.
Absolutely great and patient defense by the US. They recycled each time. South Africa was trying to have some really quick breakdowns to not give the US opportunity. But here was that amazing hit, and here's just a little knock on small mistakes by South Africa that's going to give US the attacking scrum.
Oh, it's great defence from the USA there, the continuity to just keep recycling players, getting back to your feet, and then just stopping that South African attack.
And the discipline. When you want to be on the front foot like that, it's so easy to just jump a second early or not be connected, but they're doing well to stay together and stay disciplined.
I think this might be the first US scrum of the game so far.
They had one other still on their 5 meter coming out, but once again, deep in their 22, US is just trying to get out to play some attack.
Even more challenging when you're trying to clear your own lines underneath the posts. Geographically, it's just a bit challenging. It is. Try and get this one in and out of that scrum incredibly quickly, because she knows that South Africa will be flying up defensively. Off the base then from Johnson. That's a great charging run. Just moves the point of attack. Calls for patience as they look to clear, and it's booted away from Hawkins down the throat of Dolph, who steps and squirms away past the 22. Charge forward. Dolph again, out wide, Hele. Great offload back inside, makes its way to Cilliers. Wasn't the intended target, but then it's lost, and here's the USA. Again, find themselves deep in their own half, and now finally clear it into touch.
Yes, I think that's maybe the third clearing kick from the US in that position, and the first one that finds touch. And I think the US is putting a lot of pressure on themselves by their exit kicks not getting into touch, giving South Africa's amazingly nimble back 3 an opportunity to counterattack.
We'll wait.
There's been a lot of penalties for South Africa, which is putting the US under a bit of pressure. And
I think
what do you think they have to do to try and change that at the minute?
I think if it's not on in the breakdown, just leave it alone, because we are giving away penalties.
Hey guys, it's going to be a water break.
Don't do anything that could. We got to play to the ref a little bit.
Break now.
And by we, of course, I mean the US.
My mic is very low.
We are a quarter of the way through this game, and the sole score which separates these two sides, that electric try from Georgie Perez-Redding in the opening seconds of the game. Here it is again. That loose ball from the kickoff pounced upon, and when you're just exposed in the backfield like that, there is nothing you can do to claw back into your own 22.
Absolutely, and off a knock on, a lot of times there's that half-second hesitation to stop because there was a knock, but Perez-Redding does well to just collect and go. She says, thank you very much for the score. Outside of that score, we have not gotten to see the U.S. attack too much with ball in hand. They've spent a lot of time in their half with a lot of pressure from South Africa.
Yeah.
Well, I really do want Guinness World Records down here to try and validate that, because they're not going to be far off World Rugby. I'm not sure you should be watching, but I want that to be assessed for a world record score.
Yeah. Got you. Yeah.
Well, water break, and it's needed. It is nice and warm. South Africa used to training in incredibly dry conditions.
Water off, please.
As we heard their head coach Louis Kuhn say before kick-off.
Guys, water off, please.
And we are blessed really with these fluffy white clouds in the sky today.
You couldn't have asked for a better day. After the training week both of these teams have seen, with the wind, the rain, and the weather, this is summer to them.
Time back on. Step across. You guys are here.
Line out then, and it's Lindelwa Goala off the top for South Africa.
Tackle!
So back in the midfield, Sulu with the inside ball to Silius with a great darting line. Quickly away. Here comes Boyd, great offload to Lochner. And it is the USA that get the penalty.
Absolutely huge by Clapp. Seeing an opportunity to get over the breakdown, get the ball back, huge. Takes a lot of pressure off the US. South Africa is using that inside ball and attack a lot, and the US is doing well to contain it. Here we'll see the breakdown again with Clapp getting over it.
She's so experienced, isn't she? Over 120 games for Saracens. That
over 150.
Is that what it is? 150. Huge number. All that experience winning the penalty, and the inside ball for the US, just loose and well picked up by Nyanda. Kinsey going to the breakdown.
Advantage over.
Zulu to the 5 metre channel, and Silius fresh from that cutting run on the inside. Zulu just pulling the strings nicely here. That is Ubisi again, the South African second row. Direct runner in midfield, through the hands, Gray and Hele. Great offload and gets it back to Gray. Fortunately for South Africa, that is lost forward.
Tiny mistake in the breakdown. The US will get the ball back, but both sides will go back to the replay. You'll see that South Africa has numbers on the edge. Fortunately, USA is able to shut them down.
First movement, straight.
Once again, a scrum coming up here for the US. In the last few scrums, Rachel Johnson, regardless of whether she has had people hanging off her or not, has gained meters for the US, and I'm sure they'll look to do the same here.
Well, in the opening 20 minutes here, I think it's showing that South Africa played last weekend in the USA first match of the year. And how much do you think that's going to play into the second quarter.
Okay.
Oh, hugely. I think we're seeing a lot of connections that South Africa has that the U.S. is still trying to build. They're playing with each other for the first time and under a new staff, which is implementing new systems, new structures. So a lot of learning is occurring. A lot of chemistry is being built still.
One of the good things that just takes time for an evolving team. Some great experience. We've got some debutants potentially on the bench for the USA as well. Matisse. Away. Johnson. With the tackle from Machua.
Hold in front. Side.
Kick straight down the throat to Mayava. Now what can she do? Skipping through, and well, crossing was called. It wasn't intentional. It was accidental, but it is the USA with the penalty.
And you can see Paris Reddings. Here's the replay now. The accidental obstruction that gives the ball back to the U.S. But you can see Paris Reddings get so excited every time, and that's the energy the U.S. need to bring.
Anytime the ball's on the floor, she thinks she can pick it up and run it over the try line after that opening score.
End of this line. End of the white.
An attacking opportunity with a line out for the U.S. in South Africa half.
Well then, Trader goes to the front. There's the line out trick play, and Kinsey was there with the tackle, sweeping as she needs to as a scrum half, and there's the charge up from Sagapolu. African centres lining up the tackles at the moment. It was Nyanda, and now a bit of space for the USA. Show and go, Zachary the captain on the charge. Hawkins, Johnson, again making meters out the back and through the hands, and maybe some space on the far touchline, and USA charging forward. And it's lost forward.
And that was the first time we really got to see the U.S. put phases together. They're dangerous. They found the overload off both sides. Here we go with Emily Henrich down the sideline. Steps back inside. Just a small little error right there. But off that line out, they said, if you're going to give us the front, we'll take it.
It was great to see in full flow the USA.
South Africa's bringing a lot of pressure off the line. I think the U.S. is doing well to take a couple steps back or maybe hold their feet in the pass to find the numbers wide. If they can continue to do that and can continue to link up, I think we'll see a lot more running in open space with them.
How are we doing?
Well, it certainly showed a much more
Water off, guys.
connected US backline there, didn't it? And that's what we're hoping to see from them as we go through today, and certainly we'll see that development over the next couple of weeks as well.
Finally, the U.S. able to put pressure on South Africa in their own half. It'll be interesting to see what they choose to do, whether they want to run or kick this out of their half.
On back foot, come closer. Crouch!
Well, there is Taylor Kinsey.
Set!
Jackie Sawyers is sitting back in the pocket. Mary Zulu has moved over to the wing, so we're going to see the big boot, potentially, of Jackie Sawyers, and there's the charge from Maseza Hele.
Stay there, let the ball come.
Just pulls that defensive line to the middle of the field, and there's the right boot. That's a great way to relieve some pressure.
Great pressure from the U.S. on the kicker. But Cilliers does well to find touch and relieve a lot of that stress for South Africa. U.S. will have an attacking line out now in South Africa's half.
Guys, this gap's too big. South Africa, you're on the 10. One step closer, take a step. Okay. US, good there.
Catherine Trader. Kronish, of course, off the top. Away come the USA. Hawkins gets that little inside ball to Paris Redding. Ortiz quickly away, and Hawkins through the hands. This is some quick play from the USA, just starting to bubble here. And they have some space now. Oh, it came off the foot, it was dropped backwards. Matai Toga.
Back to the tackle off the ball.
Going back for the earlier infringement.
Yeah.
It was so on, wasn't it?
Once again, US is looking very dangerous with their attack. They've got layers and they've got numbers to
7.
use when they can connect. We've got a penalty here for the US. We're going to kick to touch and hopefully have another strong attacking line out.
The continuity in play, everybody's singing off the same hymn sheet now for the US. Looking a lot more cohesive.
End of the white.
Can they conjure something up from this line out? On the edge of the South African 22. Kronish again. Hawkins. Cantona. And what a charge that is, wow. Johnson, of course. Sagapolu gets over the 22.
Hands away!
He's a bit slower to release this time and bouncing through the hands. South Africa just putting some pressure on defensively here, and there's a bit of space on the right with Henrich. Johnson flattened into the ground by Hele, their opposite number, and this is Rogers. Rogers still going.
Okay, let it come 5.
Gaping hole, but it's been lost, and
use it.
South Africa back in possession here, away from Grain.
Tackle!
Muscled to the ground by Goala in the end, and Latcher.
Use it. No. Hold in front.
Silius just
All on
comes
side.
underneath that ball and just bounces into touch, and finally the two teams can breathe, because that was an exhaustive period of play.
This massive run up by Rachel Johnson, a huge hit met by South Africa. Hope Rogers quickly picks off the ground, and this is where she's so dangerous. Look at the numbers falling off her, then whoops, just forgets the ball right there, and South Africa does well to turn it over and play quickly.
I mean, that was just a superb bit of strength to rip that ball and end up on the floor with possession. But here we go, USA. Grain flying up in defence on Matatonga. Ortiz to Kronish. US with the numbers. Just need to look towards this near touchline, because they have plenty of white shirts, and now Ortiz skipped through the middle, still going, and wrapped and Neander makes a half tackle. The US on the front foot still. Hawkins. Matai Tonga goes to the far touchline.
Not held.
The US steamrolling this one towards the try line, and here charging forward Zachary, still going, and the US will score a second here, and it is Catherine Trader with the try.
Absolutely huge break from Olivia Ortiz down the middle. She's such an attacking threat, ball in hand, and she's a 9 with a flanker, or she's a flanker with the 9's skill set. She loves contact, she loves attacking, and then they did well to keep the ball alive and score on the edge. Kate Zachary was so close to getting a home field try, but she gives it away to Treader, and Treader's in the end zone with no contest.
What are we on?
Well, Catherine Treader plays club rugby for Loughborough Lightning, and was like greased lightning down the right wing there to finish in the corner.
Don't say that.
And as you say, Kate Zachary, I'm sure she would have loved to have scored on home turf.
We'll see if she gets more opportunity, but great support line from Treader, was able to either ruck or go for the pop, and she was there. Did well to try and get as close to center as possible.
Well, after so much defensive work in their own half, the USA a second score. And Gabby Cantona with the extras.
Absolutely amazing. We'll have another look at the try right here. The U.S. does well to connect, use their numbers, and punish South Africa for biting in on that line. And then Treader just with the support line here. Beautiful.
I'm sure in the clubhouse afterwards that'll be a run-in from 50 metres out rather than the 2 metres. All good hookers like to extend the truth, don't they? And Jenny Cronish, well taken under the high ball. Loose ball picked up. Goala. South Africa back in possession.
Use it.
Now with Latcher. Lochner. Straight into traffic, and Rogers is there to make the tackle. Gazwaya. It's a bit slow for South Africa. And there's the penalty.
8. No clear release.
Just a little bit of ill discipline in the breakdown. I think Johnson's trying to go over to collect the ball, but she hasn't shown her release yet. So South Africa will get a free attacking opportunity with one of their dangerous mauls, probably about 5 meters out.
A great position for the line out once again. And they've been in this bottom corner from the line out a few times, South Africa, and so far come away with nothing. Can this be the time? Goala. South Africa driving.
Okay. Out.
It's a bit static at the minute. And now the bodies come in. Hele driving. Goala is there. Almost looked like she might peel round. And the US stopping this one for the moment. Can South Africa get this green ball driving over? They're across the line. They just need to get the ball down here. This is agonisingly close, and they're shunted backwards.
No advantage.
Coming back for the penalty.
Fortunately for South Africa, the U.S. wasn't disciplined with their maul. I'm sure Lindewa Gwala from South Africa would love a home field try just as much.
Well, it looked agonisingly close.
Okay, same again.
Couldn't quite see anything clear. So it's another line out from the penalty for South Africa.
Time off. Let her do a shoelace.
And that was the first time South Africa was able to connect on their line out from this 5 meter out opportunity.
Time back on. Not straight.
Oh, wow.
Option.
Just not straight on the throw. But you can see when they connect with their maul, they're so dangerous. They were just about over the line with the last
Line out,
one.
same mark.
USA opts to have a line out here.
Okay, step across. Okay.
South Africa here. Just giving the ball back, and it's not what they wanted. They might find themselves with it. Oh, that was close. Well latched upon. Just in the end. USA under a lot of pressure. And we'll be thanking Hope Rogers for her quick thinking there. Matisse. Now released and won't make touch. Mayaba.
No advantage coming. Back to the offside.
Oh, we're coming back for
Number
Another
5,
incident,
offside.
and they're offside, South Africa.
Number 5, offside.
Here's a look at the lineup. A little disconnect, maybe miscommunication in the lift and the throw,
Time off.
but there's no one else I'd want to pick the ball up to get us some meters than Hope Rogers.
Okay.
Fortunately
Just make
for
sure on
the
that.
U.S.,
Again,
South
get on
Africa
the back.
just jumped when they were going to block the kick and were offsides.
Yep.
When there's a rack, they always close us. They don't cast in order for us to go to the kick.
Zachary just getting a bit of strapping on here. This was the drive from South Africa
It'll be on the
again,
side.
where
Runner.
they looked so close. They were over the line. Nobody could quite get the
Thank
ball
you.
down. And they muscled and they pushed and they shoved and
Good.
they couldn't quite blow the house down.
While on
Time
the back
back
of
on.
these lineups, from the throw-in
Number
to the
5,
person with the
offside.
ball on the drive, I'm sure she would love a home field try as well. I'm sure we'll see many more opportunities for her. Nicely exited, relieving a little bit of pressure for the U.S. from Hawkins.
South Africa on the edge of the white. Abby, I can't put it on the lob over there. Okay. Okay, stop there. Guys, take a step. You're on the edge of the white line. Move the hooker
And this
across.
time the USA looking to be accurate and consistent at the line out. Threader picks out Cronish and quickly away. There's the charge. Of course, Rogers back to her feet and still going, and has made a good 15 metres there. Ortiz with the hard ball and near the touchline.
The advantage. Keep that mark for me, please.
Well, Ortiz away, and here is Johnson, and still going, finally tackled by Neander. The US with the grubber through from Hawkins. Dolph was there and will try and skip out of trouble. Just about finds a way through.
Use it.
South Africa here, back on
Hold
their
in
own
front.
try line. Cilliers with boot to ball and looks to get them out of trouble once again, and that is just knocked forward by Tess Fury.
Unfortunate error by the U.S. Small knock while she's fielding the ball. Not something you see too often with Fury.
Okay, marks on the 5.
You'll see it right here. USA do well to put pressure on the kicker, but Cilliers is just too good. Her boot is so long and dangerous.
She's a real get out of jail card for South Africa, isn't she? Fullback to fullback.
9. Make sure on that back foot,
It's going to
okay?
be a scrum though to South Africa.
Okay, good. Crouch! Bind! Set! Penalty
There is that
advantage.
here, but Hele goes first and charging forward. We know she's a real steamroller, but just loses possession, and
Forward, back to the penalty.
they are going to come back for
Okay.
the scrum
Number
collapse.
3, collapsing.
I think this is something that the U.S. is
Number
definitely
3,
going to have to
collapsing.
address in the locker room, is their scrums. They've given away 3 scrum penalties for South African scrums, which just allows them with Cilliers to put the ball way down the field and have the line out in the U.S. half.
The US have got
guys,
experience and they've got some big power players, Hope Rogers and of course Rachel Johnson as well, but not quite connecting at the scrum, is it? But despite that, they still lead 14 points to nil on the scoreboard, and it is South Africa with the line out, well taken by Nolusindi Soboy. And here's the charge up from Neander. Still early in international career, this only a 10th cap, and Lochner
Timing's good.
with the Sunnyville offload in Zulu. Thought about passing it to Mayaba, but drove into contact. Here is Kuzwayo. Kinsey away, and Dolph with that lovely flat ball, and it's just been lost by Boyd. And that is the end of the first half here at Ealing Trailfinders. It is South Africa 0, USA 14, and an electric start has continued for the USA, and they have the advantage at half-time. Well then, let's take a look at the highlights from the first half, and this was the very first play of the game, and perhaps the highlight of the game so far. It was Georgie Perez-Redding with the electric run through from the kickoff. What about that, Hay?
Absolutely could not ask for a better start to the game. I don't know if you could dream of a better start to the game. Just a clean run down the sideline for Perez-Redding in before 30 seconds.
Well, that's why it's so important to collect your kicks, and it was Jackie Cilliers who's been so strong for the USA. She dropped the ball, thought it was going to be blown for a knock-on, but unfortunately play on, and Georgie Perez-Redding was absolutely flying after that.
You can never turn your back on it when it's bouncing. Here's the second one for the U.S. The numbers game, home field advantage. Here comes Captain Kate Zachary with a great offload support line from Treader, and she tries to center as much as she can. Helping Cantorna with the kicks, but Cantorna's not really having any trouble.
Well, this was the period of the game where the USA, despite having a lot of offensive work to do, they finally came into their own and just looked very cohesive and slick, and just seemed to have an overlap every time they got the ball.
Yeah, for the first maybe 2/3 of the half, they couldn't seem to regain the ball to attack, but once they did, they were having numbers. Here's South Africa's huge opportunity. They've had 3 lineouts on the USA 5-meter. This was the one they connected on, and they tried to put a huge push in for the maul. Unfortunately, they couldn't get the ball down. They were over the line. The whole maul is almost over the line. They just couldn't get that ball down.
Just goes to show your drive angles are so important. Well, what a great opening 40 minutes. The second half to come. It is South Africa 0, USA 14, and we'll be back very shortly.
This is a game for powerful women who stand strong in the face of doubt. Blood, sweat, and tears, they leave it all on the pitch. It's for the sisterhood, the culture, all while paving the way for the future stars. They can do it all, with every try to inspire a girl.
My name is Lynn Cantwell.
Lynn Cantwell, working as the Women's High Performance Manager at SA Rugby, and the most capped Irish women's player of all time. She's played in 4 Rugby World Cups.
Our high performance manager, I absolutely admire her. She was a player. She's got 3 kids, and she's just doing it all. She's making it look so easy.
I think, having experienced what we've experienced, I understand what the women's game needs and how it differs to the men, and there's every reason to be optimistic for the future.
I was very, very, very young, and I walked into a toy shop with my mom and she said I can choose anything. Unlike any other girls that would, go to the doll section or the kitchen things, I went straight to the ball aisle and chose an oval ball. My first love was touch rugby. It was the first time that I got exposed to the possibility of a girl doing a sport with an oval ball. I loved it, so I was very excited, grabbed the opportunity with both hands, and the rest is history. Here I am today. When I started studying at the University of Pretoria, I knew that I would only be able to do a certificate because we didn't have money for me to study further. I started playing for Tuks, and they then offered me a bursary for the next year. Following that, I then completed my degree in sports science. I did a postgraduate degree in education, and then I finished my honours degree in sports management. And that's all thanks to the bursary that I got for playing rugby. I'm Libby Janse van Rensburg, and this is how rugby changed my life.
Well, second half about to get underway here in Ealing. It is South Africa 0, USA 14. And USA with that electric try in around 10 seconds flat, I think we got it. As quick as an Olympic 100-metre sprinter. And, well, that could well be the fastest try ever. Just checking online. We've done a bit of research. We think it might be there. We're going to try and push for it to get as a world record. So Georgie Perez-Redding, you know, keep an eye out. But second half, and South Africa would have been of work to do, Mia.
They have a bit of work to do, but also we've seen how dangerous they are as well. They're finding gaps in the U.S. defense, and they're using their overloads wide. So it's just if they can get that last connection.
Happy, Kate? Keep them on you. Time on.
Well, Jackie Cilliers gets it away, and here goes Perez-Redding again, just like the first half. Absolutely fizzing with energy. There's Rogers. To her fourth World Cup next year, and away goes Jarrell. Looked for the offload, and that is just skipped onto the boot of Ortiz. And
it's touched by your player.
It's knocked on by South Africa, so we are going to have a USA scrum.
Perez-Redding's foaming at the mouth to start the next half, has great footwork and evades, keeps the US going, and the US broke the line, got a little connection. Fortunately for Ortiz, here's Jarrell. You'll see her getting through the defense, tries to offload, it goes off Ortiz's foot and then knocked on by South Africa. So US has prime attacking opportunity with the scrum center in South African territory.
Rapid start.
The most dangerous place to defend, the scrum center for South Africa.
And of course it is Johnson, and there's Hawkins, and all offload straight into the belly of Cilliers.
Keep working.
What was that? Rush defence from South Africa, causing some trouble. Bit of patience here from the Springboks to try and get this away. Well, there is the infringement and the whistle, and it's USA's ball.
To me, it looked like that ball was sitting out for a couple seconds before the knock was called, but just a small mishandle with the U.S. on their attacking scrum. Fortunately, they get another opportunity, but I'd really love to see them connect on the end.
I will, but her stance is very wide. Okay. So I'm watching, but it's her setup.
Well, South Africa's number one, Elizwa Kuzwayo, is off, and onto the field is Sanalisiwe Charlie. The first job will be to defend this big US scrum, and they have done incredibly well, South Africa, but here goes Cantona. Oh, picked through the middle, it's Perez-Redding flying away. Is she going to be in for a second score? Yes, she is. Look at the wheels, the power. And it's USA with a third try of the game.
She's so dangerous around the scrum. Anytime she can, she'll just pick the ball up and go while you're not looking. Once again, Perez-Redding's in over the line for the try. She's electric.
Well, what a score, and that is what you want from your back row. Alert, electric, and
this is where she's so dangerous. She's rucking over the ball, she sees the small gap, and she's away. The other team was shocked to see her. By the time they noticed it, she's just about over the line, and she's quite close to the center. Cantorna will attempt for the extra two, and shouldn't have too much trouble considering the conversion she's already made.
Well, from a defensive perspective, where were South Africa? They were all on the near touchline, and they were caught napping, and Perez-Redding with all the power. She looked like a winger flying over the line there. That was superb stuff. Well, that's another fantastic conversion from Gavi Cantona.
So here's Jarrell's original break up the middle. This is the one that goes off Ortiz's foot, but then is a knock by South Africa. The first scrum USA can't capitalize on. The second time they got it, and Paris Reddings is away.
Absolutely superb.
Scrum advantage.
Oh, that's a knock on by Jenny Kronish. And
Time
in
off.
the process of trying to catch that, both her and Mary Zulu were looking at the ball and
knocking the ball on.
came face to face. That was quite nasty.
No malintent, both looking at the ball, but still all the same. It's got to not feel good. But I think everybody learned, especially the South Africans, from the first try. Once that ball was knocked on, everybody kept playing until the referee blew that whistle. They said, we're not making that mistake again.
Well, crikey, Mary Zulu has made a stern stuff because she got back up straight away, and she must have titanium in her nose, I think, because that was a real hit.
And Jenny Kronish is one of the tallest players that you'll see. For Zulu to even get to her face is wild.
Well, South Africa with the scrum. Taylor Kinsey.
US has had a little bit of trouble containing the South African scrum. Let's see if they can do a bit better, stay a little bit more even and push through this.
South Africa at the back. Get the penalty.
Great. Complete control of that scrum. They were going when they wanted to. They were staying together as a unit, and they did great. Helle did great to keep the ball at her feet. No problem. Now they'll kick to touch for another attacking platform.
Well, they just have such a great weapon with that scrum, and as you say, it was perfect control by Helle at the back. It's too easy to let that roll out, and suddenly you have to play it when you don't want to. And South Africa now into the corner again. On the line out. Gawala. This time, they need to use some of that scrum power here at the Mall, and the US trying to twist and turn it. Sagapolo is there, and South Africa charge. There's the score.
Home field try for Lindewa Gawala. Absolutely huge. South Africa have been building towards this. This is their fourth attempt from the try off a maul, and they finally got it down. They got the maul turned. They got US on the back foot, and they were able to get over the line. Home field try for Lindewa Gawala.
Well, she's an Ealing Trailfinder, and she found her way to the try line today. A few attempts already in that first half from the driving maul off the line out. They couldn't make it work then. This time they did, and as you say, they just managed to turn the US and find a gap, and they barged their way through that door.
They were patient. They were so patient, because you saw at first the maul was just at a standstill, but once it turned a little bit, they flooded together and they were able to get over the line.
I'm sure at the end of the first half they were quite high over the line. They couldn't manage to get down that time though. Body positions, arrow towards the pitch, and Lindewa Gawala with the score. Well, that is unfortunate for Jackie Cilliers. She got a huge boot off the tee. That was a brilliant kick, but just pulled wide, and this is the score again.
Scrum advantage.
Cilliers this time does well.
Sorry.
To get the ball.
He's like, I
Very slow. Wagner. Charging forward. And they tee up. Gita on at scrum half, number 21 for South Africa, and gets the box kick away. That's across from Fury into a bit of space, and Dolph and Mayaba couldn't quite decide who would have the ball. It was Behandre Dolph challenged it up. This is Boyd. US onto the loose ball. Ortiz out wide. It's loose, and Hawkins looks for an offload, and Matatonga. And away go the USA. That's Fury charging. Hele coming in, but it's a penalty, and Ortiz takes it quickly. Here goes Johnson. Got to watch her when she's charging from distance. Cronish. Tackled by Ubisi. Hawkins with the grubber. Tries to find it in the space, and Silius fumbles, and it might be a score for the US, and yes it is! It's Emily Henrich that pounces on the loose ball, and it's try number 4 for the USA.
And that all started with Olivia Ortiz not wanting to take her foot off the gas. Penalty called. They could have opted to go for the lineout, but Ortiz says, let's play, taps it, and sends it along. Nice kick through by Hawkins, and Emily Henrich just watches the bounce of the ball. Here she goes. You'll see Cilliers pick it up. Just can't handle it. You never can predict the bounce of a rugby ball. It's so tough, and all you need is a little downward pressure from Henrich, and she is awarded the try.
Well, it was such a great option, wasn't it? Because there you go. It was 3 white shirts all around Jackie Cilliers, and it was that pressure that forced this error. And that is why you tear after the kicks, because you never know what can happen.
The bounce can be so unforgiving from a rugby ball. I don't think you'll ever get the same one twice. Quintorna in the corner from the kick again.
Well, that's the first miss of the day for Gabby Cantorna, and it is South Africa 5, USA 26.
I think USA is really starting to gel. You can see them, the communication was there. All 3 people were running through. They knew the kick was coming. This pressure was together, and it just ended up being Henrich on the end.
Cilliers. Straight down the throat. Some replacements on for the USA. It's turned over. Oh, not quite.
Almost. USA getting caught a little bit high in contact. But fortunately, South Africa didn't show their release when they tried to go for the ball. They're going to kick to touch. This is a bit of a tricky position to kick to touch, especially with a little bit of wind, because you're right in the middle of the field.
Well, that's high, but not long enough into touch, and Dolph charges forward. And there's Boyd, the captain, always happy to take the ball up to the line, and Zulu's pass just spilled forwards.
I think you can feel the momentum kind of flowing in USA's direction right now. They're starting to put things together, and they're starting to get a lot more confident in their connections, a lot more ball in hand play and making connections through passes.
Well, it was the aggressive defence from the US that forced the error.
Rachel Ericke is such a workhorse. She's up and off the line. She's in South Africa's space, and she forces that knock on. And now USA has a great attacking platform with the scrum again.
So difficult to release under the pressure of the Springbok scrum, and they win the penalty.
Whatever they're doing in there, USA needs to figure out how they can handle it. That's probably the 4th scrum penalty US has given away, and this time it was on an attacking scrum from the US, so they've just lost an attacking opportunity, and South Africa have won it back.
With all that power in the scrum, they just need to try and transfer it defensively, don't they? And that has not made touch. That was lost forward.
Rachel Ericke stays heads up, keeps the ball from going into touch. Unfortunately, just can't handle it on the collection. So South Africa will have a scrum. They almost might be even happier about what they're getting out of this because they've been so dominant at this set piece.
Ramandi Podgita. Scrum half for South Africa. Look at that drive forward. Might get a few more meters here from a penalty. Yes, they do.
That ball was ready when and whenever South Africa wanted it. Again, they were being so patient. They were driving together, and they were keeping the ball at the back, ready if the 9 wanted it.
Well, the smiles from the forwards there. Bavawalacha in particular was joyous when that whistle was blown.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't opt to re-scrum. With all of the penalties, you have to be thinking the ref is thinking about reaching to her pocket at any scrum penalty from now on. But they'll have an attacking line out once again. Gwala throwing the ball in within the USA 22.
Rubisi off the top. Here comes the drive.
Don't change, JT.
Look to get some extra bodies in. Here comes Aseza Ella. USA are in there, trying to spoil South Africa's fun, and now they peel away. Koala. It's all a bit messy. And then finally they can reset with Charlie. And it's lost Saw. Another fumble. And Ortiz sees the space and smashes her foot through the ball, and it's Dolph who will have to try and charge it back. Deandre Dolph just hasn't had the same amount of space that she would have liked. She's looked so electric with the ball in hand. Junior Springbok captain 2 years ago, and Hele just about keeps ball in hand. There is Gray. Just loses possession, and here is Paris Redding. Always Paris Redding just firing forwards. There's been some brilliant rugby in this game, and here's Johnson. Oh, couldn't quite get beyond their opposite number, Hele. Lovely flat ball from Hawkins. Great to run onto at speed, and Hawkins now dinks over the top into the corner. It might fall for Fury, or is it Clapp? And Clapp will score for the USA. Well, that was just absolutely outstanding. Hawkins pulling the defence one way and the other. She saw the space in the corner, and Lottie Clapp with the try.
And you can see Hele with South Africa calling for more numbers to come over. US has a number overload, and they still decide to launch. Hawkins sees that, puts the ball right over them. Fury and Clapp running onto it. The bounce favors Clapp, and she just sprints in for a try. I don't think you could ask for an easier try as a wing. No one in front of you, no contact, just get to open up a little bit. And she tries to center as much as possible for Cantorna. Look at the smile on her face as she's dotting it down. Her and Fury are just having a day out there.
Well, Tess Fury was just hoping that ball might bounce into her breadbasket, but it was Lottie Clapp, the course, that got on the end of it.
Once again, we talk about the bounce of the rugby ball. You never can predict it. Both of them are ready. Great bounce for Clapp right into her hands. Thinks about putting it down out wide, but runs it to the center. She says, here you go, Cantorna. I'll help you out a little bit.
That's another fantastic conversion for Gabby Cantorna.
Time off.
And that is try number 5 for the USA.
Okay. Number 2.
Well, a few changes here for South Africa.
Okay, all happy?
Celier's coming off the field. That means the kicking duties now fall on Zulu, and she'll get us restarted.
Well, she's in talent there, Zulu. That's a great way to restart high and loads of time to get underneath it.
Hold in front. All on side.
Down the throat. Here goes Locknut. Rampaging run for her. Gita. Over to Laksha. There are so many bodies, and here's Grain. Dolph gets it back in field, and Grain is there to pick up the loose ball. There's Carway in support. On the wing for Silias now. Zulu. There is Ngwevu. Centre now, and Zulu out wide, and it's an isolated pass, and Matai Tonga picks it up for the USA. South Africa just running out of options despite all the bodies, and running out of space as well when they're in possession.
But the knock on.
Well, it was Aliyah Chonga Jaman with the tackle.
Going back to the original knock-on by South Africa, but you could see once they had lost the ball, they were straight into D, straight into putting pressure on the US, which actually caused another knock. But since we were playing advantage, we're just going to bring it back to the first one. This is a scrum for the US. We have to see how they'll handle it. And onto the field for her first cap, Cass Bargel. Coming on, all smiles. It's a great honor to represent your country, and to do it for the first time. This is a huge moment for Cass. She's been working to this for years.
He'll be your captain. 8, okay, good.
Also onto the field for Captain Kate Zachary is Talia.
Okay, who's your new captain? Number 3, your new.
Great performance from Kate Zachary today.
Happy, Mike? Try back on.
Zachary, one of the best players in the world. She does everything you need her to do on the field. She works hard, she communicates, and she leads through her actions. As she's coming off, I think the captaincy will now go to number 8, Rachel Johnson, and she'll take control of this game.
Fresh pair of legs, always helpful.
And that fresh pair of legs comes as Talia Brody, who is no stranger to contact, no stranger to gaining meters. She's absolutely devastating. But once again, the US cannot handle this scrum. They get another opportunity, but they need to get together.
Such an interesting balance to the game, isn't it? You talk about forwards and backs and rugby being for everybody, and the amount of dominance that South Africa have had at the scrum, but the scoreboard is 5 tries to 1 to the USA. It's so interesting just to see how the game balances out. US will get another go here. And as you say, first real chance for Cassidy Bargel.
You have to think with the luck the US have had on scrums, they're just trying to get it out now. They're not going to try and drive or keep it in too quickly. Off Katana Howard's hands and into Gabby Cantorna. She moves up the field well with below Masai Tonga.
Well, now they release again down the near side. And Ricky with the charge. Cantorna just marshalling here. And there, Hele off the base. One-handed and gets the offload away to Lochner. And that's another great offload through Ngweavu. Hele again, the pick-up off the floor. Just keeping the ball moving, and they have some numbers with Latcha. Huge clear out, and it's a penalty for the USA.
That's the South Africa we saw at the start of the game. They were quick, they were not giving the US a chance to recycle on defense, but they just had a little mishap and slow support to the breakdown, so the US was able to get that ball back.
Well, this was the pickup from LA, just stealing the ball. It was free to air. And the turnover here on your debut, Cassidy Bargel.
Okay, stay on the halfway.
On the way to mark that occasion. I'm sure she'll remember that one for a long time.
And those opportunities are getting less and less with the way the breakdowns are being supported and policed. To actually get a turnover there is just massive.
Take for Ricky. He's a driving maul of the USA zone.
Take it to ground by White.
He's on the ground now, so now they release, and it's Howard. Inside centre and quick hands. Fury over to Henrich, already scored one try. Johnson.
Timing's good.
Quick hands out the back and almost intercepted.
Got something to touch.
And it was
Option.
Kumakawe
Scrum or line out.
stopping that attack.
Line out.
Fortunately for the US, it bounces almost an interception from South Africa, but into touch. Paige Sotopoulos will have another throw in. I think it's tough to come into a game at any point, but to come in and have to throw it in immediately like she just did, massive. Unfortunately, just over on this one, South Africa does get the ball back.
Makwai did well. Lochner. There is Ngweavu. Power player in the centre for South Africa. We're looking for her to make some impact over the next 15 minutes or so. And a bit static here from South Africa. Zulu pushes it over to Latcha. Now they have some space and now they have some numbers, and Zulu with Crane and Hele charging. Tries to get the offload away and it falls in the hands, and maybe here Dolph for a second score for South Africa. Darting over the line. And it is a fine score after the pressure from South Africa.
And that's where they're so dangerous. The ball's bouncing around, it's free. The US defense is scattering, trying to connect, trying to cover the numbers they have, and it just pokes out a small offload mistake by the US, and they say, thank you very much, in for the try.
Well, it was the original offload mistake from Oseza Hele that gifted the ball to the USA, and they got it back, and it was all a bit messy, but this was the charge. They had the numbers. Maybe should have gone to Behandre Dolph earlier. That was a great interception, but the USA just getting caught in loops, and Behandre Dolph trying to get towards the posts as well, and it'll now be Mary Zulu that has a shot at goal.
Great tackle from Henrich here on Hele. They have numbers. She could just keep it for the ruck. Unfortunately decides to offload, but no problem. They get it back. and now they have a chance to put, Zulu has a chance to put 2 more over.
Well, it was a great step, wasn't it, from Dolph to finish. Extra 5 metres does make a huge difference on the tee.
Bold. I really thought she'd shoot for the corner, but she said, no thanks, I'll cut back on both of you. Zulu is good, which will bring the score 12 South Africa to 33 for the US.
Second ever conversion for South Africa's Mary Zulu on a rate cap. Andrew Dolph, former junior Springbok captain, on the 3rd try for South Africa. Great box kick from Pagita. Down the throat of Fury. The US fighting to get back in attack, and there is Johnson up against Lochner in defence. Through the hands into space beautifully to Clapp. Powered backwards. Huge tackle that was. There's Benson. Change the direction again, and Clapp again with ball in hand. Doesn't quite get rib crunch this time. They have numbers there. Howard thinks about shipping the ball away. Hawkins again, and that might just bounce. Doesn't fall, and it's into touch, and
US on the end of
Amanda Berta is on for her debut.
They're on the end of the white, so step over.
And couldn't quite get on the end of that. Great to see her
Coming there on that.
with her first involvement. This was the tackle on Lottie Clapp.
I'll
Goodness
have
me.
what she's having. Whatever she's eating, I want some. They said the USA has been really successful with their kicking game. They say they'll try it again. Unfortunately, just doesn't get that bounce. And South Africa, again, has a chance to attack.
Superb steal at the line-out. Johnson into Ngwevu. Dink over the top this time by Howard, and Carway decides to keep it in and keep this one live, and under some pressure now, fighting for an extra metre. Well, that was an interesting choice, but got to love the enthusiasm to keep playing. And South Africa now on their own 5 metre line.
Hold in front.
Zulu with the clearance, and they will have the line out.
Zulu finds touch, maybe not as far down the field as she'd like it. USA will have an attacking line out within South Africa's 22. Was an interesting decision to keep the ball in there under how much pressure she was having. Possibly she thought that it wasn't going to go into touch. Whatever the thought process was, US now has a line out, maybe 10 meters out.
More.
Charging from the maul, USA. Through the hands. Matatonga smashed to ground. Plenty of white shirts around. Here comes another charge. Paris Redding is amongst them. Can they try and work this for a 6th try of the USA? Johnson is there. They have the numbers. They can keep driving.
Back to the back. Use it!
Here's the charge. Still working it, USA. Can They recycle it here. It's slow. South Africa doing well defensively. There's the charge from Lochner.
Still got pen advantage.
Out the back door, Matai Tonga, and it's all lost and golf.
Back to the high tackle.
And Varoshka Grain took a real whack.
The US did have advantage there. You have to think they might need to be going a little bit quicker. South Africa had no trouble covering the width and also covering around the breakdown.
Number 22, high.
USA opt to kick for a line out. They'll have another go with Paige Sotopoulos throwing in.
Guys, come over. On the 5.
South Africa 12, USA 33.
More.
7 tries scored in this game. And here comes the drive from the USA, and it might be an 8. Yes, it is. And popping up with the ball at the back. Well, it looks like it's Paige Sotopoulos. And that is exactly what you want from your forward pack. They saw South Africa do it early on. They wanted one of their own for the forwards. And it is try number 6 for the USA.
And this is Paige Sotopoulos' 4th cap, and it's her 3rd try. I don't think you can be too disappointed with those stats.
Well,
the USA does great to come together, drive together. Sotopoulos just on the end of it, able to get the ball down.
Well, we're trying to work out who popped up with the ball there. I don't think it was Paige Sotopoulos anymore. She was there lurking.
You just assume it's the hooker because they go to the back of the mall.
I'm sure we'll have a look at it again. Conversion, not enough legs on it. Well, it's South Africa 12, USA 33.
Okay. Time off. Just waiting for the sub. Yeah, time's off. Just waiting for the sub.
Great take by Eriki in the air, controlling the maul, making the calls, just not sure who got on the bottom of it over here.
Okay, we have it.
Paris Redding once again. That's a hat trick for Paris Reddings in this game. What a day for it.
Well, we couldn't see her, of course, this time. Rather than running the length of the pitch, she was caught amongst all of the havoc. And it was Gabby Cantona just missing her 2nd conversion of the day there. But Georgie Paris Redding, a hat trick. She's got family here watching as well. What a great day for her.
On the end of the white.
She's only come into the squad in the last few years, but she's great energy, she's great leadership, she's someone you want defending you. Great clearing kick by Katana Howard, and now South Africa will have a line out.
Nicely off the top from BBC. Johnson was there, full power into the tackle. Zulu to Dolph on the inside. Some momentum, South Africa. BC again, and it's just spilled, and
No advantage.
they're going to come back for the
Just here.
earlier infringement.
Number 11, high.
Just a bit of a dangerous tackle. Ref doesn't like it. She says it's a bit too high. South Africa now has the opportunity to go for the corner.
Zulu nudges that one into touch, and South Africa still with a chance to get another score or two in this game. He's not lost here. They have looked so good at times, but haven't quite found that cutthroat edge when they've needed it to keep the scoreboard ticking over. There's the power and well held, lovely offload off the floor. Hele, it was Ngwaevu with the original charge. They have numbers now. Zulu has to tuck it up the jumper, and here's Lochner. A great game today. Denel Lochner in there through the middle. It's with Dolph now. There was the run from Kawe. Bottas.
Ball's available.
South Africa again with Ngweavu. Ubisi. Lochner fancies another drive. They just need to get the numbers behind the ball here, South Africa. They might be caught short otherwise. Ngweavu. Zulu under a lot of pressure from Rachel Johnson there. Now Ubisi into the final 5 minutes. Potgieter to Mokwai. Slowly creeping backwards here and down the right wing. Nayaba. Next 10 metres. She's just in touch, and now with Machua still recycling possession. Bottas drives forward once more. Zulu, Charlie. No scrum half there, so in steps Mary Zulu. Ubisi, long looping pass to Behandre. Dolphin just holds on to possession. Hele is there in support, so is Thread. This is exhausting for both sides, and Ubisi again, head first. Great tackle from Jacobi. Shunted backwards. Potgieter and Thread. Dolphin support. Trying to release this, and now they do. Bottas again. Flattened by Benson. Denel Lochner over a speed bump. Zulu, long looping pass straight down the throat. We're going to come back though. They had the advantage. And what a period of play for South Africa there.
17.
Finally, everyone gets a breather. I want to see the number of phases they just put together. Exhausting stuff in the 75th minute of the game. Fortunately, they'll have the opportunity to get the ball back. There's a penalty advantage. The U.S. not releasing, trying to go for the ball when it's not theirs, and great choice by South Africa. They opt to scrum. Their scrum's been so strong and dominant, and now they have the opportunity to 10 meters out.
Well, do you keep going for the scrum penalty and try and get the penalty try, or do you try and score it yourself?
I say keep the ball in there as long as possible, because they've been able to be really patient and controlling. They take it when they need it, and the U.S. has been called for multiple penalties, so there's a good chance in a scoring position that the ref could reach to her pocket.
Well, Potgieter will have to wait to put that one in.
Okay, guys. Okay, let's close up this gap. We're too far away. Both of you feed long vines. Okay.
Well, to go through that many phases at this late point of the game, it's been fast and fierce today.
Around the other side.
A huge effort defensively from both sides throughout, and now what can the USA do defensively from this scrum? Potgieter. Cesar Hele opts to go through the blind side. Can she charge over here? Yes, she can. Henrich couldn't stop her. And it was Berta in the corner that was being lined up by a Cesar Hele that stormed through for South Africa.
great option to take the scrum there off the penalty for South Africa. USA just puts one over in the corner. Amanda Berta is isolated over there. And Hele with South Africa sees that and just puts her nose down and absolutely grinds to that corner. No problem for her, she says, bring it.
Well, she is an absolute powerhouse, the Harlequin, number 8. And you can see why she got the most line breaks of any player at the last Rugby World Cup. She is an absolute steamroller. And
she's been a menace this whole game. And to end her game on something like that, I don't think she's going to be disappointed at all.
It's a tough conversion from the corner. That won't quite curl in for Mary Zulu. And that is full time here at Trailfinders Sports Ground. What a result for the USA. And you must be absolutely delighted standing up here in the commentary box with that result.
I'm buzzing for them. This is the first opportunity they've had to get together as a squad this year under this new staff. And I think there's a lot they can learn from this game, but there's so many positives to take away that they can build on.
What about the new head coach, Sayoni Fukafuka? Must be absolutely thrilled with how that one has gone.
Yes, I think maybe in a bit of the first half they were a little hesitant with their connections, but once they found their groove, there was no stopping them.
Well, there's some great tries throughout that game. The second half started with absolute fire from Georgie Perris-Redding once again. This pickup from the ruck, and she was storming away with it. South Africa were just caught napping around the fringes. Little did we know at the time, that was try number 2 of 3.
She's my player of the match for sure. You can't sleep on her for a second. Her energy was absolutely amazing this whole game, and she's walking away with a hat trick.
Well, how about that potential world record time scoring try, a hat trick, and also player of the match here against South Africa. What a result for Georgie Perris-Redding. More of her to come. And this, though, South Africa's first try of the game. It was 21-0 to the USA, and this made it 5 points to 21. It was the charge from Ndalwa Gwala on home soil as well. She's an Ealing Trailfinder.
And they were so patient in their drive. They really collected themselves. They didn't get too much forward movement at first, but they held their ground, and then they started to turn, and you couldn't stop them.
Well, this was a lovely bit of work from the US backs. It was unfortunate for Jackie Cilliers, but Emily Henrich pouncing on the loose ball.
And this is where the U.S. really got bold and confident with their kicking game. I think at the start of the game, they were a little bit hesitant. Their kick was getting blocked, but once they started communicating and running onto their own kicks and attacking with them, they saw a huge difference, and so many more options opened up. Another one here, off a kick.
Well, it was Lottie Clapp with the next score, bouncing in front of her and Tess Fury. It was Saracen Lottie Clapp that finished it off. Well, what a nudge that was. I really felt Mackenzie Hawkins grew into that game as well. A lot of confidence, and towards the end she was just subtly pulling the strings nicely, and she did so for that score. Well, South Africa's second try after so much effort and a lot of phases up to this point. It was an offload to the USA and back again, and it was Leandre Dolph, the fullback, with that hot stepping finish to get try number 2.
And it started with a little bit of chaos, and that's really where South Africa thrives. They had numbers on the U.S., tried to offload it when they maybe shouldn't have, but then again, so did the U.S., and South Africa scoops it right back up, and Golf is in for the try.
They had to really work for that second score, didn't they? They had so much possession throughout the opening 50 or 60 minutes, and in the end they got that score. And well, this was the hat-trick for Georgie Perris-Redding. We weren't quite sure who scored it. There was a lot of white shirts in there, a lot of forwards, but Perris-Redding with the hat-trick score. Good to see the US get a drive from the line out though.
great throw from Paige Tatopoulos, and then really connected on this maul as they're driving together. South Africa wasn't able to stop them once.
Well, this was the final try of the game. Maseza Hele, who had an absolutely cracking match.
She finds herself one-on-one with a winger, and she says, I'll take my chances. Berta tries to stop her, but she's just too powerful and drives over the line to finish the game.
Well, what a match, what a result, what a venue here at Trailfinders Sports Ground. We've had 9 tries, a win for the USA and a potential world record for the fastest try scored. A hat-trick for Georgie Perez-Redding. A whole bunch of fun up in the commentary box as well. Final scores from Ealing then. It's South Africa 17, the USA 38. Until next time, thanks for watching. Good night.